You know the famous ones. Goodfellas, The Godfather, Scarface, everyone knows them. These are 10 crime movies I keep coming back to that most people I know haven't seen. Gangs of New York, 2002. Leonardo DiCaprio, Daniel Day-Lewis, New York, mid-1800s. Two gangs fighting for control of the 5 Points, the most dangerous neighborhood in the city at the time. What I remember most from this movie is how physical it feels. The dirt, the noise, the violence. You are not watching history, you are standing in it. Scorsese shot it on sets built specifically for this movie, and every scene has a weight to it that's hard to shake. And then there's Daniel Day-Lewis as Bill the Butcher. One of the best villain performances I've ever seen. He commands every scene he's in. Charismatic and terrifying at the same time, and that combination is very hard to pull off. Men on Fire, 2004. Denzel Washington plays a former operative who takes a job as a bodyguard for a young girl in Mexico City. He's burned out, drinking too much, just trying to get through the day. And slowly, through her, he starts to care about something again. Then everything goes wrong. A lot of people write this off as a pure action movie, but it isn't. The first half is about a broken man finding a reason to keep going. The second half becomes something much darker. What hit me hardest watching this is the idea underneath all the action, that in any situation, no matter how far gone you think you are, there's always something that can bring you back. You just have to hold on long enough to find it. Denzel carries every scene on his own terms, and this is one of his most underrated performances. Lucky Number Slevin, 2006. A case of mistaken identity drops a man into the middle of a war between two crime bosses. This movie is cool without working hard at it. Sharp writing, a cast that's clearly having fun, and a structure that keeps pulling the rug from under you. By the time the ending arrives, you realize the movie had your number from the very beginning, and going back to rewatch it with that knowledge makes it an entirely different experience. But I rarely hear people talk about it anymore. Lord of War, 2005. Nicolas Cage plays Yuri Orlov, an arms dealer who spent decades supplying weapons to some of the bloodiest conflicts on the planet. Yuri is loosely based on real arms dealers, including Victor Bout, a man so notorious he became known as the Merchant of Death. That's the reality this movie quietly draws from. The opening of this movie is something I still think about. A bullet from the moment it's manufactured, through shipping, to the battlefield, to the moment it finds its target. It's one of the best openings in any movie I've seen. What the movie does well is remove the drama from it. No heroes, no real villains, just business. Cage plays a man who is fully aware of what he's enabling and keeps going anyway because the world is set up to let him. That's a harder thing to sit with than a standard crime story. Law-Abiding Citizen, 2009. Clyde Shelton watches the man who murdered his family walk free on a plea deal. 10 years later, he decides the system had its chance. The reason this movie works is that it builds Clyde's frustration so carefully that you understand where his anger comes from, even as those decisions become completely extreme. You are sitting there thinking, I get it. I shouldn't, but I get it. But the movie is also asking a bigger question. What happens when people lose all faith in the justice system? When someone decides the only justice left is the kind you make yourself? It doesn't give you a clean answer. And the fact that it makes you think about that question long after it's over, it's what earns it a spot on this list. Minority Report, 2002. Washington, D.C., 2054. A police unit arrests people for murders they haven't committed yet, based on predictions from 3 psychics. Tom Cruise runs the unit, until the system says he's next. This movie looks like science fiction, but the question at its center, can a system punish you for something you haven't done yet, doesn't feel that far away anymore. Spielberg shot it to look like a future that's dirty and credible, not clean and perfect. And 24 years later, it still holds up visually. Tom Cruise is at his best when he plays someone who has everything figured out, until suddenly he doesn't. That's exactly this movie. A thriller that works on the surface and leaves you thinking about something uncomfortable underneath. Collateral, 2004. Max is a taxi driver in Los Angeles. He picks up Vincent, a passenger who needs 5 stops before the end of the night. It takes Max a while to understand what kind of stops those are. Tom Cruise, Jamie Foxx, Michael Mann directs. Mann shot most of this movie on digital cameras at night, which gives Los Angeles this strange glowing, slightly unreal quality. The city looks alive in a way it doesn't in most movies. Tom Cruise playing a hitman was a deliberate move against type, and it works completely. Calm, precise, not performing anything. But the conversations between the two of them are what makes this movie more than a thriller. Max has been planning his life for years without actually living it. Vincent, in the most uncomfortable way possible, forces him to wake up. American Gangster, 2007. Based on the story of Frank Lucas, a driver for a Harlem crime boss who, after his boss dies, builds his own operation from scratch. He imports heroin directly from Southeast Asia, cutting out every middleman and undercutting every competitor. Denzel Washington, Russell Crowe, Ridley Scott. What I find most interesting about this movie is how it presents Frank Lucas. He's not loud, he's not flashy, he doesn't want to be seen. He wants to run a business, and he's very good at it. Denzel does something very specific here. He holds back. No big moments, no scene where he raises his voice. Just a man, running a business, and being terrifying because of it. Running parallel to Frank's story is Russell Crowe's detective, quietly working the case from the other side. Two men completely committed to what they do, on opposite sides of the law. The movie takes its time with both of them, and that patience is what makes it work. Blow, 2001. The true story of George Jung, a kid from a working-class family in Massachusetts who becomes one of the most important figures in the American cocaine trade. Johnny Depp plays Jung across 30 years of his life. Most people approach this movie expecting a rise and fall crime story, and that's what it is on the surface. But for me, it's really about something quieter than that. It's about a man who ended up completely alone, not because of bad luck, but because the version of success he was chasing had no room for the things that actually matter. There's a moment near the end where Jung reflects on his life, and he says something about how his ambition far exceeded his talent. I saw this movie a long time ago, and that line stayed with me for years. Johnny Depp gives one of his most grounded performances here. No costume, no eccentricity, just a man watching his life collapse one decision at a time. Training Day, 2001. Jake Hoyt is a rookie cop starting his first day in narcotics. His training officer is Alonzo Harris, decorated, respected, and operating by a set of rules nobody else seems to know about. Denzel won the Oscar for this role, and it's one of those rare cases where the Academy got it exactly right. Alonzo Harris is one of the most complex characters in crime movies. A man who can make you laugh, make you uncomfortable, and make you genuinely unsure what he's capable of, all in the same conversation. What makes this movie work so well is the slow escalation. It starts as a long ride-along, slightly off, but nothing you can point to directly. And then, bit by bit, the day gets darker. The situations get harder to walk away from. By the time the full picture starts coming together, you are so deep in it that there's no clean exit. That final stretch is some of the most tense, satisfying cinema I've seen in any crime movies. One day in Los Angeles. One rookie who thought he knew what he was signing up for. This one sits at number 1 because no matter how many times I watch it, it still hits the same way. And that's it. Now a question for you. What's the crime movie you keep coming back to that nobody else seems to know? Drop it in the comments. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe. I've got more content coming. See you on the next one.